Billy and his family moved into the old house during the summer. The house stood at the end of Harbinger Lane, a place known for its eerie silence and overgrown gardens. It was big and creaky, full of cobwebs and the smell of dust. The floors groaned under their weight, and the walls seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Billy wasn't thrilled about leaving his friends behind. He missed the laughter and the games they used to play in the park near his old home. He wandered through the empty rooms, his footsteps echoing in the silence. Each room felt colder and more unwelcoming than the last. Billy's parents were busy unpacking. They seemed excited about the new beginning, but Billy couldn't share their enthusiasm. He found himself in a dusty old room at the end of the hallway. The room felt different, almost as if it had been forgotten by time. Sunlight struggled to get in through the grimy windows. The faint light cast eerie shadows on the walls, adding to the room's mysterious aura. In the corner, covered with a sheet, stood a large, ornate mirror. Billy was curious. The mirror seemed out of place in the otherwise neglected room. He cautiously approached the mirror, his hand hovering over the sheet. His heart raced with a mix of fear and excitement. Why would anyone leave such a beautiful mirror covered up? The intricate designs on the frame hinted at its age and value. With a deep breath, he pulled the sheet away. The mirror gleamed, revealing its true beauty and reflecting Billy's wide-eyed wonder. The mirror was old, with a silver frame etched with strange symbols. Billy stared at his reflection. He jumped back, his heart pounding. The face staring back at him wasn't his. A pair of sad, pale eyes met his. They blinked slowly like an owl's, inside a face that was pale and blurry, almost translucent. Billy stumbled back, tripping over his own feet. He scrambled to his feet and ran out of the room, slamming the door shut. As days turned into weeks, strange things started happening. It began subtly, almost imperceptibly, but soon it was impossible to ignore. Billy would hear whispers coming from the room with the mirror, soft and chilling. The whispers seemed to call his name, sending shivers down his spine. Sometimes he felt a cold breath on his neck, even when no windows were open. The air would turn icy, and he would feel a presence close behind him. Small objects started disappearing. A toy car, a comic book, things he knew he had left in specific places. A sock left on the floor would vanish, only to reappear in the hallway or another room entirely. His parents blamed it on the move, but Billy suspected something else. He tried to explain, but they dismissed his fears with childish imagination. He felt like he was being watched, followed by unseen eyes. Every shadow seemed to hide a lurking presence, making him constantly look over his shoulder. One night, he woke up to the distinct feeling of someone or something standing by his bed. The air was thick with tension, and he could barely breathe. The room was dark, but he could feel its presence. It was as if the darkness itself was alive, watching him. Then just as quickly, it was gone. The room felt empty again, but the fear lingered. Billy lay awake, his heart pounding, until the first rays of dawn peeked through his window. He knew he had to find out what was happening, no matter how scared he was. Billy couldn't take it anymore. He decided to face his fear. He walked slowly towards the room at the end of the hallway, each step heavy with dread. He pushed open the door and stepped inside. The mirror seemed to gleam in the dim light. He hesitantly looked at his reflection. This time the eyes were clearer. They seemed to plead with him. Then letters began to form on the mirror's dusty surface, appearing like frost on a window pane. "Help me," the message read. Billy's breath caught in his throat. A ghost trapped in the mirror. He had to help, but how? Before Billy could react, the eyes in the mirror widened, as if they were alive and aware of his presence. A look of terror filled them, mirroring the fear that was now gripping Billy's heart. The message on the mirror's surface began to change, the letters appearing and disappearing rapidly, as if an unseen hand was writing them. Then, new words formed, shaky and urgent. "No, behind you!" Billy spun around, his heart pounding in his chest. Standing in the doorway, her face pale and her eyes full of concern, was his mother. She looked as if she had seen a ghost. "Billy," she said softly, "you shouldn't be in here. This room, it's dangerous." Her voice trembled with fear. "There's a reason we kept this mirror covered," she continued, her eyes never leaving the reflective surface. The reflection in the mirror was gone, leaving only an empty, dark void. Billy was alone, looking at his own frightened reflection, his mind racing with questions. Had he imagined it all? Was it just a trick of the light, or something more sinister? As he turned to follow his mother out of the room, he felt a cold breath on his neck and knew deep inside that some secrets are better left buried. The room seemed to whisper, urging him to leave and never return.